Mic check. Huh?
I would say this thing within here, but because as I talk, I hear myself.
Now to my government this one. Mic check. Mic check. Mic check.
Okay, you can hear him now, bro. Okay, Mark.
Huynh ơi,
Even for casting system, red, and brown, green, and
Ung à?
M1. Also, voting.
Mic check. Is it high? Is it low? Is it low?
Attention please. Attention please. I am appealing that all of you should please put your phones on silence. This new banquet hall today has become a studio. And so all phones be put on silence, please. All phones be put on silence, please. Excellency will be here any moment from now. And this very important meeting will commence silence. So please, put your phones on silence. Thank you.
That's live on station now. Oh, audio.
1 2 1 2 1 2.
I'll connect it on Lucy now so that when she can intervene now, all of them will get it. I'll connect on for Lucy now so that when she can intervene there, it will come from them. So what's happening? The mic she they use, but they connect her for camera. They connect the mic she they use for camera, not for here. The receiver is picking all these 3 mics, I see. These 2 mics. So I'll connect it to you so that it will come out from here. This interview going to do live, but now I'm going to connect mic now. Who record it now? Video here. Now I'm going to record the actual interview.
No, but don't worry.
Let me just mic out.
If you mic out, then the next person what do should have. And you will not be using this now. The government will come. It was recording, so I don't know when the video
Yes. Oh, never showing it.
Paul, you know, to hear for life coverage. What is it?
Yes, murder. I want you to one with microphone. Yeah, I like it.
Chairman, how are you? Your Excellency, the Deputy Governor of Benue State, let me stand on existing protocol ably established by the Chief Press Secretary, who is moderating. On behalf of my dear wife and the entire family and the government of Benue State, I wholeheartedly return praises and glory to the Almighty God, who has graciously allowed me to govern this state in the last 6 years. Happy Democracy Day to Benue people and Nigerians. Permit me to deeply appreciate the good people of Benue State for the overwhelming support given to me and my Deputy Governor, Engineer Benson Abonu, in the last 2 years of our second term, the same way they did between 2015 to 2019. When we took oath of office for the second term on May 29, 2019, I did promise the people of our dear state that they had spoken loudly with their votes, and the entire country heard that my people loved me. I also did pledge that it was now my turn to reciprocate the love. For that reason, I have willingly opposed any aggression directed at my people in attempt to forcefully take over our fertile land. Similarly, our administration have risen to the occasion of frontally address the challenges of governance and to bring development to our people in different sectors of the economy. Let me specially appreciate the Honorable Speaker, members of the Benue State House of Assembly for their support and cordial working relationship that we have enjoyed in the last 2 years. We would not have been able to achieve things we have accomplished for the good of this. I equally appreciate His Lordship, the Chief Judge of Benue State, the President, Customary Court of Appeal, and the entire judiciary in the state for their professionalism and support in ensuring that we serve our people better and ensuring justice for all, for the state. I also appreciate Benue workers for their support and understanding, members of our great party, the People's Democratic Party, other political parties in the state, and as well as every stakeholder for the maximum cooperation I have received in the last 2 years. I promise to be governor of the rich, the poor, the rural and urban dwellers, men and women, students, workers, market women and traders, young and old, friends as well as opponents, and also the governor of all ethnic groups who live in Benue State. We have kept our pledge to work hard with the fear of God to ensure safety, security, and welfare of our people, irrespective of their political, ethnic, and religious affiliations. As you are all aware, Benue State has faced devastating security challenges and inadequacy of funds which have adversely affected our efforts towards development. COVID-19 pandemic and the physical constraints that prompted the 2020 downward budget revision are still very much with us. I swore to respect and protect the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and that is what I have been doing. In spite of our challenges, especially insecurity instigated by Fulani herdsmen invasion, we have recorded numerous achievements in security, agriculture, education, health, infrastructure, and several other sectors. Security. Benue State, under my watch, have been providing vehicles, security gadgets, and other logistics support to the Nigerian police and other security agencies to enable them perform their duties effectively. The Open Grazing Prohibition and Ranching Establishment Law 2017 is regarded as the most famous legislation initiated by the Executive Council during our time. In spite of the resistance from AITL groups, the launch fully enforced, with over 400 people who have violated the legislation arrested, and many of them already convicted. Some of them are still going the process of prosecution. The entire country has today accepted the ranching alternative, which we have been talking about since we assumed office in 2015. The National Economic Council was one of the first bodies to adopt ranching and declared that open grazing is no longer feasible in the country. In February this year, the Northern States Governors Forum banned open grazing and adopted ranching as the best method of animal husbandry. Just recently, the 17 governors of the southern Nigeria also made a declaration in Asaba banning open grazing in the region. Recall that in my lecture at the University of Nigeria, Nsukka, in 2019, I predicted that one day ranching will be embraced and celebrated in this country the same way June 12 is being celebrated. I must commend our security agencies, such as the Benue State Police Command, Department of the State Security Services, Operation Wise Stroke, and the entire military, the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, our livestock guards, and other agencies involved in the task of guaranteeing peace in the state. Many security personnel have lost their lives in the cause of protecting our people. Says once again to their families and relations. They remain the heroes and heroines of the fight against crime and terrorism, and they will forever be in our hearts with fond memories. A few weeks ago, Benue stakeholders met and gave this administration the mandate to activate and implement Community Volunteer Guards Law enacted in the year 2000. We have already commenced the process of recruiting responsible people of between 18 to 50 years into the volunteer guards, also known as vigilante. The duty of the volunteer guards is to support and complement the conventional security agencies in defending their communities. We have cried out enough, and we will no more cry. Now it's time for action. Let me remind those who think that sustained attacks on Benue people will force us to repeal the open grazing prohibition and ranching establishment law that they are making a mistake. This law has come to stay, and no amount of intimidation can make us repeal it. It is with the support of the entire people of Benue State. Instead, we would soon amend the law in order to increase penalties against offenders. RDPs and the humanitarian challenge. The security threat from armed herdsmen, bandits, and other criminals in our communities, which have resulted in wanton killings and displacement of people in large numbers across the state. Today, Benue State has over 1 million IDPs, with many of them living in camps, staying with their relations. The situation has created an unprecedented humanitarian crisis in the state. Our administration has been spending huge sums of money to cater for the internally displaced persons. Let me commend the good-spirited individuals, corporate organizations, civil societies, groups for their support, which has complemented government's efforts in giving care to the affected persons. My desire is to ensure that the IDPs return to their ancestral homes. Most of them are farmers and no longer stay in the camps. The more food production is affected. We hope that the federal government will also fulfill this promise to assist the state and other states in the North Central Zone which are badly affected by the attacks to resettle the victims. Agriculture. Agriculture is the main driver of Benue economy, and our administration has placed the sector on the priority list of development. It is for this reason that in 5 cropping seasons, we have given 40% subsidy on fertilizer to Benue farmers. Last year, we acquired and sold 50 tractors at 60% subsidy to farmers. We have built agro-processing factories in 6 local government areas under sustained development goals. In collaboration with organizations such as International Fund for Agriculture, we have also improved productivity in the state through training, demonstration, and the use of improved seedlings. More civil servants have become farmers through our 3-month scheme that makes Friday work-free during planting and harvesting seasons. The fertilizer blending plant has been revived and now supplies part of the people's fertilizer needs. Education. In the education sector, our administration, in partnership with Universal Basic Education, has executed over 1,000 primary school projects across the state. Other projects completed in the education sector are the upgrades of facilities in the following schools: Government College, Makurdi; Government Girls College, Makurdi; Government Girls Model Secondary School, Alede; Special School for Exceptional Children, Alede, amongst others. The State Scholarship Board is undergoing extensive renovation at a near completion stage. To make learning environment conducive for our children, this administration has procured thousands of customized seats and desks for primary education. Similarly, I similarly approved the conversion of Afredekawe to Kula College of Advanced and Professional Studies, Makurdi, and Akbara Oshi College of Agriculture, YANEF, into polytechnics, as well as the engagement of additional academic staff at the Benue State University, Makurdi, and other tertiary institutions in the state. The State Executive Council recently approved the design and development of an e-learning and visual education software and hardware for Benue State E-Learning Center. The program, which is in partnership with Stand Store Africa initiative, includes donation of books with other instructional materials and the training of teachers. Health. In the health sector, we have sustained the support and attention given to schools of nursing and midwifery, Makurdi, as well as the School of Health Technology, Agashi. You are aware that our administration revived the affected institutions to make them regain accreditation which they previously lost. The Benue State University College of Health Sciences have continued to graduate qualified doctors as a result of our intervention, which led to the accreditation of the college. I recently signed into law for Benue State Health Insurance Scheme, which is to cover the formal and non-formal sectors. The scheme is one of our flagship programs to provide health care to Benue people at all levels. In collaboration with Sustainable Development Goals, we have established the fully equipped 42 health centers in different communities of the state. We have also established the Primary Healthcare Board, which is making significant impact on the people. We have equally supplied ambulances and other medical equipment to local governments in the state. We need not emphasize our efforts in containing COVID-19. The devastating impact of the pandemic led to the global lockdown, for which, for the most part of last year, crippled the economies of countries and states, forcing us in Benue State also to downsize our budget to be able to cope with the realities of time. I must once again commend the Deputy Governor, General Benson Abonu, and the entire COVID-19 State Action Committee for their tireless to prevent the spread of the virus. We have already commenced the process for the establishment of Infectious Disease Center under the School of Health Sciences, Benue State University. The center will open a new vista in our fight against deadly diseases such as COVID-19 and others. Infrastructure. In infrastructure, this administration has executed numerous road projects in 3 senatorial zones of the state. Only recently, prominent Nigerians amongst governors of Enugu, Nasarawa, Sokoto, Rivers States accompanied me to Boko to commission township roads and the state-of-the-art new palace for His Royal Majesty the Totiv. Among the roads commissions were Apereku Road, Professor Martin Dent Road, Chief Isaac Shahu Road. We had earlier reconstructed Amadou Bello Way, Jestaka Way, and Campton Down Road in Boko, with drainages done for proper flow of water during rainfall. We also constructed the Tse pole to Api Road and Igba Mbateriv Wanunen Road. Within Makurdi and the state capital, we have constructed several roads and opened up layouts. These include the customary court road, now known as Senator Gabriel Suswam Road, Mobile Barracks Welfare Road, Tewas Agbadu Iyakio Road, Federal High Court Road, North Bank. We have also constructed and commissioned Imande Akpu Oribo Bajimba Road, which work is progressing on Taraku Road. Work is also progressing on Daudu Bajimba Road as well as Abuku Jinge, Tiogbunda, Tombo, Wombu Road. In the Benue North Senatorial District, we have commissioned 47 kilometers Zakibambeji Afia Road, among other numerous projects in the area. The construction of the Ikobo Agbede and Shagba Road is also ongoing. We commissioned different township roads in Otukpo and other parts of Benue State. In the South Senatorial District, including Armstrong Avenue, Commercial Road, and Ochi Idoma Way, while work is progressing on Abonum Way to VIP Guest House, Otukpo. You are aware that we have awarded contract for the construction of a befitting palace in Otukpo for the Ochi Idoma, and work has already commenced on the project. Still in Benue South, we have constructed the Agatu Oshibudu Road, which before now made the movement of the people of that part of the state quite challenging. I recently inspected the progress of work on Otukpo, Icho, Odumaje, and Ondana Road, and I'm optimistic that the project and that part of Igumale Aguila Road will soon be completed. Other infrastructure we have provided in the last 2 years are the completion of a new complex for the Deputy Governor, renovation of Aperiku Guest House, and the main administrative block here at the Benue People's House. Also within this period, we have also constructed 17 flats of 2-bedroom in both phase 1 and 2 of the owner-occupier housing estate through the office of the head of service. The construction of a community market has also commenced at phase 1 of the estate. To ensure a conducive working environment for civil servants, we have provided water at the State Secretariat for the first time since it. In the area of workers' training, I approved the training of 1,000 staff by the Administrative Staff College of Nigeria, ASCON. It is also the first time that such a large number of staff will be trained as a specified period. The exercise will no doubt enhance a service delivery in the state. On rural development, our administration has executed numerous rural access roads. Some of the roads projects recently constructed are Otesimka, Ashibi, Otesi, Uge, Agbede, Mhambe, Adioru, Konya Branch, Ate Road, Bajimbate, Ortom, paved to Nasarawa border. We have also completed over 60 electricity projects, while several others are ongoing. In line with our administration commitment to touching the lives of those in need, this administration has also put smiles on the faces of orphans at Mama Abayo Orphanage Home, Makurdi. Within the period under review, the facility has been turned around with both new structures and total rehabilitation of. The orphanage now has a clinic, laundry, library, common room, hostels, well-furnished dining, and a playground, and a computer room, and a standby generator. To ensure improved security at the state industrial layout in Makurdi, we have refurbished the police outposts and the Benue. It is worthy of note that the layout also serves as the North Central Industrial Park. Both facilities have been completed and more, and now offering services to the public, water supply, and the environment. In partnership with international development agencies, the state government has provided over 1,000 motorized and hand-pumped water schemes in various Benue communities, while the reticulation of water from Greater Makurdi Water Works has commenced, and some parts of the state capital are already enjoying water supply. Under environmental sanitation, we have revived refuse clearing vehicles at the Benue State Environmental Sanitation Authority, and the agency is now living up to expectation of the people. On information, our administration has established Benue State Television, which is now a digital television and is set to compete favorably with others in the country and even beyond. The television station, which is providing employment and opportunities to Benue youths, is already projecting the image of the state and telling the Benue story. Commerce and industry. Under commerce and industry, the state government, in partnership with Bank of Industry, had set aside 2 billion naira as loans at only 5% interest rate for Benue farmers and other industrialists. Similarly, this administration area, Apa Aguila, Inado, and Makurdi. At our initiative, the state sponsored the training of youths in the acquisition of several skills by Industrial Training Fund and acquired starter kits with some Benue young inventors, successfully fabricated disinfection tunnels, digital hand washing machines, sanitizers, dispensers, and ventilators to aid in the fight against COVID-19. The ministry also produced hand sanitizers in collaboration with National Research Institutes of Chemical Technology, Zaria, as part of efforts to contain COVID-19 in Benue State. Our administration has also concluded arrangement for the takeoff of the Center for the Industrialization of Benue through hybrid gas-feed electrical generating plant. Transparency and accountability. In our transparency and I signed into law Fiscal Responsibility Acts. We have also set up public procurement and debt management offices and a law to amend the Internal Revenue Administration. This followed the introduction of Treasury single account and the use of point-of-sale machines to track all government transactions, addressing pensions, salary challenges. Some of those who attack me often cite the payment of salaries and pension. But what they fail to realize is that Benue State pays the highest salaries in the whole of the northern Nigeria and is the third highest paying state in the entire country, just below Lagos and Rivers State. The statistics are there for such critics to see. Despite the huge wage bill that we have had to grapple with, since January 2018, we have been paying regular salaries to workers. We also are committed to clearing the arrears of 2017 when the economy of the country went into recession. Just now, there is sharp drop in allocation, and the state IGR, we have been experiencing some difficulties, but we are committed to the issue of ensuring that salaries are paid to our workers. With the collaboration of the Benue State House of Assembly, we have domesticated Pension Commission law. This is to address the prolonged program of pensioners and retirees in the state. Having given assent to the law, I proceeded to inaugurate the chairman and members of the commission with a charge on them to quickly swing into action and bring an end to the problem of pensions and gratuity at the state. Already, our state has made appreciable progress in the contributory pension scheme. We have already made a contribution of 1.2 billion naira to the scheme, and we are optimistic that the challenge of pensions and gratuity would soon become a thing of the past in Benue State, because we're quite committed, and we believe that once we're able to reach a certain threshold, we shall be able to borrow money from PENCON to pay the arrears that we owe. And I believe that in the next 2 to 3 years, all civil servants retiring will no longer wait on government to come and pay them gratuity or pension. As you're retiring, you go straight and collect your money from PENCON. In our determination to give the youth a direction on youth development and sports, a sense of belonging, we swiftly responded to the NSAS protest of last year by holding 3-day summit which brought together youth from the 23 local government areas of Benue State to brainstorm on the best ways the issues affecting them could be addressed. The communique issued at the end of the youth summit had very useful recommendations. Last month, the steering committee of the summit met with the State Executive Council to consider recommendations for possible implementation. This administration has also sustained the financial support and other logistics given to Lobby Stars Football Club and Sports Association in the state as part of deliberate policy to engage the youth in sporting activities and other gainful ventures. Other steps we have taken within the last 2 years include the introduction of Benue Geographic Information Service, which has phased out the analog system of land administration and management. Benjis will ensure not only effective utilization of land and its resources, but also enhance town planning and eliminate the duplication of titles that often end in dispute. Our mandate is selfless service to Benue people, and we are committed to this. Thank you. God bless you. In God we trust.
Thank you, Your Excellency, Executive Governor of the State, for
three personalities at a time.
So that the people can
Three at a time.
3 questions at a time. So move to the podium here so that many people who are not here with us will also listen on radio and television. Take a seat here and as you introduce yourself. One after the rest of you can queue up behind me here, one after the other.
Your Excellency, I'm Babs Sigwe, reporting for the Benue newspaper. So very recently, we have seen your shuttle movement to some states of the Federation, Delta, Oyo, Rivers, and probably some other states. Are you building bridges? Or is there something that we are not seeing? Quickly, sir, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, just a couple of days ago, said that he has given instruction that the existing prison routes should be reopened. And we know that you have consistently maintained a position on this. And a number of the loyalists of the President seem to have attacked you as a hater of the President or an enemy of the President. What is your relationship with the President, despite these policy disagreements?
Your Excellency, for the next question, let me apologize and recognize the presence of the National Assembly is also represented here, ladies and gentlemen. Honorable Benjamin Nzambu is representing our brothers who are in the National Assembly. Nzambu represents Benue Federal Constituency. You're welcome. Please, the next question.
Thank you, Your Excellency. My name is Pius Angu. I report from China's television. Of course, the President in Lagos singled you out and the team people for standing in the way of articulating and said you were the reasons why this was still persisting. Do you feel personally attacked or identified or championing a cause that is setting the nation on the right path eventually? And two, you mentioned a couple of roads, and I've said this to you in person. The road from Mobile Police Welfare Class to Go Road, we see what you're doing from the airport to Api. If you would finally touch that road at Ashpath, and the one from Agan to to Batimba, one would have said they have sealed your road intervention in the state. What are you doing about those two? Because the state they have, they will still go instead of disrepair. They are not on finance funds.
The last question before His Excellency responds. The first set of 3 questions.
Your Excellency, my name is Charles Abba. I report for NTA. Your Excellency, 2023 vehicles. 2023 vehicles and interests are beginning to show up for the number 1 seat from the 3 senatorial districts of Benue State. You have been adjudged nationally and internationally as the defender of the Benue Valley. Now that agitations are for 2023 to take the number 1 seat, what kind of Benue would you like to bequeath or hand over to your successor?
Your Excellency, in our response.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Pavilion. Visiting other states of recent, as you have seen, is a normal routine of the governor. One, attend meetings or forums, whether at the Nigerian Governors Forum or PDP Governors Forum. Again, I'm in Akwa Ibom on Monday. It's the same consultations and dialogue and how we can synergize and make a better Nigeria. Everyone in our country today, you know that whatever patching somebody tries to do about the image of Nigeria, not just recognized in our country, but before the international community. Everybody knows that all is not well with Nigeria. Like I said, Nigeria is on life support, and unfortunately, the gas is running out. And so we need to do something as quickly as possible. Otherwise, I don't like traveling. But I have to do it to see how we can put our heads together and make a better Nigeria. That is one aspect. The second aspect is you have also seen people, governors, come here from Sokoto, from Rivers, from Enugu State, from Nasarawa, to support me to commission projects. And it is natural that I have to reciprocate. When I'm invited, I can't say no. And so those are the two reasons for taking me across the country. On grazing route, I still stand with what Benue State stood for from 2017 and up to today. We have a law in place, but I am not going to join issues at this time. I want to decode the remarks by our president properly and articulate it and respond to those issues as affect me as a person and as it affects my people, Benue State. But I want you to know that we have the law in place, and the law do not breach any provision of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So it is one thing to say reopening of cattle routes or grazing areas. I want to believe that it is not meant for Benue State because our law was tested by Federal High Court and it has been proven that it's a legitimate law meant to provide win-win situation for farmers and herders who want to do legitimate business. Herders who want to do legitimate business here. But what is happening in Nigeria, they have a hidden agenda. And that is why they are attacking me. And the federal government is also involved. But I tell you the truth, I'm going to respond within a week. I'm going to create time and respond to these things properly. So just reserve your question on Mr. President's remark. When we come here, I will respond to that. Because I'm going to articulate it, I will dig history. I will also talk about regional government that they are referring it to. I will also talk about the 1963 Constitution. Is it 1963 Constitution that is in place now? How can you bring it to bear on 2021 when we already have a constitution that the entire country is saying that we need to adjust or amend, and you're saying no? There is need for us to look at the 1999 Constitution, which was enacted by a few individuals in the military. There was no adequate contribution from the people of this country themselves to that Constitution. That Constitution is faulty. We'll address it. So I'm going to articulate it. So I don't want to waste so much time talking about what was said. When we come here on that day, and I will be coming out with facts and figures of grazing route, of grazing reserves. Benue State was not part of that. No part of Benue was gazetted, for God's sake. So let your mind be at peace. The anti-grazing law will not be repealed. It still remains solid. And I have the mandate of my people to say that I stand with it. And I have been challenging. I challenge the presidency. And I challenge any other person who is not comfortable with what we're doing here in Benue State. Let them come out with a position that is better than what we have done. Our prohibition of open grazing law provides for the herdsmen and farmers. One, if you do open grazing, you have violated the law. For the herders, if you rustle cattle, you have violated our law. And there are stiff penalties for those who violate it. I am a Christian, born again for that matter. So I have no reason to hate anyone. Talk less of the president. The president is my president. Look, one thing that Nigerians don't understand is, even some governors, they come through the back door to tell me that, look, Ortom, what you're doing is right, but we don't have the courage to say it. That is the truth. But me, I am a different species from Guma local government and a tip man from Benue State. So I don't know how to hide my feelings. I'm a raw man, and I say the truth. The Bible says that you shall know the truth, and the truth will set you free. I don't hate the president. I pray for the president every day in my devotion. That's one thing that you don't know. I pray for him. You recall that when president was sick in his first term, Benue State, under my watch, was the first state that organized prayers for him. And then other states started copying. Were you not here? You saw it. So how will you say that I hate him? We disagree on policy matters. And I profile superior argument that I think if Mr. President implements, this country will be better. You recall that several things I've said. I don't just speak without meditating and praying about it. We talk about prohibition of open grazing law. We talk about my solution to the security challenge that we have when I discovered that the presidency was helpless. And I said, look, armed, responsible Nigerians with AK-47 by providing license, we will buy it ourselves. I will also own one. And there are many responsible people, as you are seated, there are many outside from Benue State who will also have it. So if a Fulani man from Niger, as the president say, or Senegal, or Cameroon, or Mauritius, or Libya, or whatever, if they come and they know that they have AK-47, we also have AK-47. I think it will be 50-50 now, or who will survive, isn't it? So that is the point. So I don't hate Mr. President. My president is President Muhammadu Buhari. Until tomorrow, I will continue to pray for him because that is what my Bible says. And so I don't hate him. But because you're president, you cannot force me to disobey the constitution of this country. I took that oath before God and the people. And I'm committed to the implementation of the oath that I took. If somebody else is not doing it, that is not my business. Channels. Well, channels, the first one about the president in Lagos, I'm going to respond to it like I said before, so let me not waste my energy. There are many waiting to ask other things. So within the week, I'm sure you'll be here, so we can respond to it. But I appreciate you for your recommendation. Already, that is on the table. The contract for mobile barracks, welfare quarters, it included asphalt, and that is going to be done. The contractor is aware of that. The one from to Bajimba from Tsepo. Asphalting was not included, but as finances permit, we're going to do that. So thank you for reminding us, and I want to assure you that it is the best method of doing it. Otherwise, just doing surface dressing, I have also discovered that is penny wise, pound foolish. So it is better to wait and do something that can stand the test of time than doing something after 1 or 2 years again you come for rehabilitation. So thank you very much, Chairman. NTA, I've repeatedly said that power belongs to God, and He gives it to whosoever He wills. I believe that at the appropriate time, God will definitely provide that person who will take over from me. And for now, I have people from Zone C contesting and people from Zone A. But my party chairman is here, but what we have resolved to do is to ensure that we discuss amongst ourselves and reach a consensus to have a candidate. One that can be sold to the people, two that has the capacity to continue from wherever I am going to stop. That is our intention. But where we are not able to resolve on one candidate, we are going to provide opportunity for all our candidates to go through the process of primaries. We as leaders will ensure free, fair, and transparent primaries so that that person will emerge. And we say this, it also in line with John 3:27, which says a man can receive nothing except is given to him from above. But there is a popular saying that vox populi vox Dei. The voice of the people is the voice of God. So when we don't deny them through shortchanging in the process of primaries and allow the will of the people to prevail, I am not going to impose any candidate on our people. But the people themselves will select the person they want. And I believe whosoever is selected, with our prayers, I believe that the best will come out of it, and we continue from wherever I stop. And God will grant such a person the opportunity to do that. Thank you. The news. News. Amen.
I am interested to know that as a member of the Independent Media Publishers Association of Nigeria, they have undertaken for local governments. Because of visiting from a local government area, we observed that there is about their deserted. So with that in mind, we went ahead to demand
Thank you very much, Taman. I agree with you. We are also deeply concerned about the plight of the IDPs. That is why even in my remarks, I did mention it. The challenge we are having is that these attacks are ongoing. So it has made it more difficult for us to cope with the challenge of IDPs. In 2018, when we had this challenge of severe attacks on our people, we opened 8 camps. Now, the camps are increasing every day. Go to Konshisha, we are still battling with IDPs there. Go to Agatu, we are still battling with them. Now we have added Ado. So the challenge is really overwhelming. We can't cope. That is the truth. It's been a difficult thing. We've just been managing, but our duty has been to continue to call on spirited individuals, organizations, and other bodies that can provide help. We are really in a humanitarian crisis. The money that the federal government did promise we're going to bring to us here, we are yet to see. Concentration is more in other areas in this country than Benue State. From what you have seen, the hatred that the federal government is exhibiting against Benue people, there's little or no help coming in to support us here. We appreciate the problems, and in the midst of this challenge, we call on our people here, no matter how little, whatever you have, if you can extend it to these IDPs. I'm not sure any of you here, if you had the option, you want to stay in those IDP camps, even as they are. Apart from the food issue, staying there, a man with 4 wives, with 20 children, how can you cope in staying? The humiliation you see alone in such places. So it's a challenge. Other good people have accepted to accommodate some of these people who are there, but my appeal to all of us, Benue people and Nigerians, is to come to the aid of our IDPs. The ones that were profiled before the renewed attack were over 1 million. Now we're talking about the region of over 1.5 million people as IDPs. It's very, very taxing and challenging. Well, on fertilizer, we had the challenge of even paying the subsidy we were supplied last year. We have managed, by the grace of God, to pay that, and we're expecting fertilizer to start coming in. Of course, the policy still remains. It's just the pricing have changed. We are subsidizing 40%, as we agreed in our council, and we're able to provide money to clear the arrears of what we're owing those people, and then we're expecting the supply immediately. It is better late than never. So I can assure you that we're going to definitely get fertilizer now that we have cleared the outstanding, and then we'll look for ways of paying the subsidy. But definitely, it is going to be higher than what we had last year. Last year it was 5,000, and we paid subsidy of 40%. This year it is going to be a bit higher because of exchange rates and high costs of producing a bag of fertilizer. Cephas, thank you very much. course, I can't give you, because it varies depending on what comes from the federal government. We are able to borrow to make up, to pay salaries and all that. So there is no definite amount to be given to that. But as for the IGR, I would say that we are on average of 500 million every month. It's a very big challenge. And you know what we've been going through, what we've been fighting to make things work. But as of today, if you take those figures that we have gotten for this year and last year, we are on average of 500 million every month. And this is why I keep trying to let our people know that Benue State challenge is different from others. IGR of 500 million a month, and then you have to pay cost of collection and other associated things. Then you know what will get into the cost of government. So that is a challenge. But if you compare that to Lagos and other places where you have commercial activities going on, here, apart from payee, the income from IGR is so minimal. Taxing the people, where are the industries? Where are the businesses going on? And so it has been a challenge, but it is on average of 500 million, or a little bit less. On urban development, you know, we can't do everything at once. One thing that this government is trying to do is to encourage people to stay where they are. So we try to maintain a budget every year, and we get inputs from the people themselves. We are about to begin the process of 2022 budget, and we expect people to have inputs so that at the end we can bring out a budget that would be of help. So while we try to also improve on our urban areas, like Makodi, you're saying, we must also work within the budget that we have. Electricity is a big challenge, not just to us here in Benue State, but to the entire country. A country of over 200 million people is battling with electricity of less than 5,000 megawatts. So it's become a big challenge. On our part, we have tried to provide some basic equipment that will help improve on electricity. We have bought transformers here. We supply them. It is not our responsibility. It should be the responsibility of JED. But we still go outside that to do it. On solar light, we have had challenges. What you see around being installed by the Ministry of Science and Technology and Electricity, Energy, is a trial case. And we have spoken to the contractor to put that on. Let us see the durability of that solar light. But all we go back to the resources. You know, electricity is very critical and important. If I had my way, we'll provide electricity for all. But it is a big challenge, and looking at our lean funding, it has been a big challenge in trying to cope with that. But, you know, like the Boko boys will say, what we're doing is, no matter how it is, we must eat and drink. So sometimes even when you don't have food, you drink water. So look for something that will sustain you. True, to tell you that we are buoyant and we have the capacity to do everything, it is impossible. This is what we've been able to do, which I have told you. The other one, there are many things in all sectors that would have reached out to touch, but unfortunately, funding has not permitted us to do it. Thank you.
Your Excellency, good morning, sir. Mr. Joseph Wanto of the Guidance Institute. Sir, you came on board heritage. Today, the situation continues, and we know you have made several efforts through setting up committees to look into this canker worm of the state. We do not tell Benue corporates now where are we after all these efforts. And again, you see Benue is graced with River Benue, which is a very big river, and Katsina, and of course, very major springs. So I came to set up a project on dry season farming. We don't know where that has taken us to, sir. Where are we? Thank you.
Thank you very much. The flight first from, one, two. They want to know the wage bill we inherited. As we told you before, when we came in, we inherited about 70 billion arrears of pension, gratuity, and salaries. You recall that the federal government provided a window to all the states that were able to reduce it and here we were given 21 billion. That was here in Benue State, we were able to reduce it to that level. And in subsequent funding windows that we had, we've been able to reduce that arrears. As of today, we are about between the range of 30 to 34 billion that is pending because of accumulation of other arrears that added. But it's no longer 70 billion. So we've been able to reduce that to about 34 billion. And our intention is to ensure that we complete this payment. On dry season farming, good initiative, making use of the rivers is not just getting the water from the river directly and feeding your farm. We will require to provide infrastructure for dry season farming. This is on the board, and we are still discussing with companies that have the capacity, but the challenge has been funding. But we're encouraging our indigenous people, especially who live around the river line, to continue to use, take the advantage of using the water that is available to them through local means of encouraging dry season farming. Recently, a company came and we're in the process of consummating the arrangement to ensure that we provide boreholes in several communities where they have interest in dry season farming. And I think we have considered that. We're going to give it a trial because the funding is not as strenuous. We'll be able to cope with this. And the presentation looks very convenient for small-scale farmers. Since we cannot do the large-scale one, we want to start with the small-scale one. Once we pick interest and once funding permits, we can go ahead and do it. The issue of flights from Rose. On our part, we have completed every requirement that was needed because the enthusiasm of Benue people when the test flight operation started was overwhelming. In fact, government had undertaken, after paying a deposit of about 70 million naira, to take care of the shortfall that may arise as a result of non-passengers or non-patronage that we had already paid to the airline. But the 1 week or 2 weeks operation that the flight started test operation, the flight was always full, coming from Lagos, Abuja, Makurdi, and leaving here to Abuja and Lagos. So it was an interesting thing, but the regulating body came out that the flight did not comply with their regulation. That was how the flight was suspended. And we were required to get to NCAA. They came here, did the verification of what they wanted. As of today, the screening machine for the security, we were able to provide money for the repairs to fan, which they have installed. They wanted a COVID-19 equipment with the Ministry of Energy, Science and Technology also fabricated. We provided. They wanted marking. We had to pay money to do the marking. So all the requirements that they wanted us, we have done it. I think the last point is that they want an MOU between NCAA and FAN, and then since it's not a civil airport, they needed an MOU on how they will be operating. So that is where we are. But I think that by the grace of God this week, that should be sorted out. So we're quite concerned, and we've been following it keenly, and I think by the grace of God we shall get it. On wage bill, the state government is slightly above 2 billion as of today. Many people have retired. We, at the local government level too, is above 2 billion. But the challenge, again, as more people are retiring, there is accumulation of pension and gratuity. Yes. So when I came in 2015, I inherited a pension at the state level of 400 million. But as of today, it's over 800 million. I had a meeting with the pensioners committee last week, 3 weeks ago, and we agreed that truly, with what is coming in, it is difficult to pay salaries and pay pension at the same time. But it is also a fact that those who have retired are old, some are on drugs, and so something has to be done. And we divided the offices into two. The Makudi office, which carries about half of the amount, and the outside offices, Boko, Kasnala, and Otupo, which also carries about half. So, pending when funding will be enough to take care of salaries and pension, we pay every month half of the pension, and that is what we've been doing. And that has also had an implication on what we were paying before, so but we're managing it. At the local government level, the pension, the ones that are captured now, are over 400 million, but some are yet to be captured. We are still working on this. So it is a challenge, but we have continued to manage it. The head of service is not here, but I think the commissioner for finance is here. At the state level, we are owing, I think, 7 months arrears of salary. We are owing about 7 months.
5 months.
Huh?
5 months.
5 months. That's why I say she's not here, but we're owing about 5 months arrears of salaries. At the local government level, we're owing how many? Huh? 7 or 9? 7. 7 months. Then teachers, how much?
Teachers is within that 7 and 9.
I think it's about 9 months. I think teachers is about 9 months. So that is where we are. But one thing that we have been doing is that we have domesticated Physical Responsibility Act, and everything we do is very transparent. And so everybody knows this. That is why we have had relative peace here in Benue State. The workers too are very, very understanding about the plight we have as a people. That is why there has not been agitation that we need to work together. At the local government level, the unions there, Nigeria Union of Teachers and local government, are also part of the joint committees. So this is where we are on that. On Gigi Jack, 200 million bribe. How I wish if I have that 200 million. But I won't do anything to undermine the people of the state. I don't know where the president got that statistic. I saw that on social media, but I thought it was a lie. So we'll find out more. And maybe when I'm responding to Mr. President's address, I will try to make some research and really understand what he meant, because what I read on social media, I did not just understand it. I don't see how you say we're giving local government 300 million monthly. Who is giving that money? Because the money that comes from local government is not separated 300 and the remaining money that we use in paying salaries. And like I said, NOGE and NUT are part of the joint allocation committee that they sit every month. So I'm really not clear about where that is coming. But as far as I'm concerned, if the 35 governors are taking that, I'm not seeing anything like that, and I have not taken anything.
Thank you, Excellency. We are gradually coming to the end of the question session. We have just 2 more sets, and we'll now give it on questions and answers. Go ahead.
Your Excellency, happy democracy. My name is Brother Samuel Badio Prague. My question is a question of prayer. In your scorecard, you mentioned about the rural roads that you have approached, your government has approached for 23 years, different various states. And some other roads that don't mention, like go to Awali Road and Obaiki Ito Road. I want to ask, how soon are the contractors right back to the site? We are people are embarking on and a lot are spent by the members. And as a financial officer, my store has dried. How soon are you able to finish? Thank you, sir.
No, the second one, you said what?
Yes, the way the media will criticize politicians for doing things wrongly, and when we are asked to do something, we do the wrong thing. Please, let's restrict ourselves to one question. True question.
Excellency, my name is Yahweh. I write an assistant newspaper. The battle to succeed you have already started. And you are saying that at the end of the day, you want the simple question to make so that there will be no crisis. People are saying you are doing something. Some say you are going to the farm. Some say you are going to the Senate. Some say you are equal to the presidential task. Some say you are going to reach the government to you. What are you doing?
Good afternoon, Your Excellency, sir. My name is Comrade John Ortom. I write for Congress Voice newspaper. Sir, before your administration came on board, the advisor for Bureau for Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs always briefed the press on a monthly basis, showcasing the activities of the government. During that time, there
the government house here as it is practiced now. The burden is too much on you. You are the midfielder and there is no striker to score the goal. Unlike today, Democracy Day, if you go to newspaper stand, you'll be happy to see a lot of local tabloid to congratulate you with your fine picture on the front pages. But these days around, nothing is happening like that.
No briefing.
Sir, we want to know what is the sudden change or the trend that the local government and chief national affairs is no longer briefing the press. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The question is straightforward. Thank you very much. The last question was straightforward. And I can see the response from media people here. Well, 2023 question from the Systems newspaper. I think I have said enough on this matter, but let me say it again because there are different ways of saying something and the other person decoding it, accepting and taking it. I have always said, a man can receive nothing except is given to him from above. So those aspiring or contesting for anything, they should not kill themselves. They work hard. But most importantly, if you're God-fearing, ask if God have given you the go-ahead to do a thing. No matter how we look at the administration in this world, God is still in control. If he doesn't want, he will stop it. If he wants, and we have seen examples of this. And at least in my own case, I can tell you that when I came for 2015, in 2012, I said that God anointed me to be governor, and I will be governor. And it came to pass. In 2017, when there were so many issues, and I was overwhelmed, and I said I was not going to contest. But back in my time with God, God said, no, you are not done yet. You will contest and you will win. And I came back here. It was in this hall, and I told you. Before then, when I was asked, I told you, I'm yet to seek clearance. But when I did have that confirmation, I came and told you. And what happened thereafter? I was re-elected. Even when they say that it was inconclusive, God saw me through. So I'm an example of the model I'm trying to bring to bear on politicians and politics. You don't need to kill yourself. If God wants you to be there, nobody can stop you. So usually when people come to ask me or to inform me that they are contesting, I ask them, what have God said? They say they will go and pray. And I mean business, because in my own case, I tell you today, no matter what people are saying about my deputy, about those working with me and all that, I have said in my cabinet for those who are interested in pursuing their 2023 ambition, 1st of October is the deadline. They will have to resign. Then I know the seriousness. Because allowing it will be a major distraction. The little time I have to provide for the people who elected me. Because I want to finish very strong and I don't want distraction. But for me, yes, people have come to me, you go in for Senate, you go in for that, you go in for that, but I have not confirmed from God. If I confirm from God and God said I should go and contest for my contest for councillor in my council ward, I'll go and do it like I generally did that time. But if God tells me to go for Senate, I will go. If He tells me to go for anything that I'm convinced, just like 2015 and 2019, I will still do the same thing. I will be a foolish man after God have proven to me that power belongs to Him and He giveth it to whosoever He wills. And that has been proven twice in my own case. I will be a foolish man to look for any other source moving forward. If God says sit down, do something else, go to the farm, yes, I will go. If God says continue with your business, you're a businessman, I've endowed you, go ahead with your business, that I will do. I'm not going to impose myself on the people, and I'm not going to impose myself on God. My advice to those who are interested in contesting is to seek the face of God and know whether God is also accepting their aspiration. Because as many as are led by the Spirit of God, they are the sons of God. And that is what I know. So I can tell you that. So this matter is not a problem. If God tells me anything tomorrow, I'll come back here and definitely I will tell you what it is. But as a leader, I have the anointing to give direction. When I have given direction, I'm not talking about other parties. I'm talking about my party. My chairman is here, and we have discussed, and that is what we agreed that we do. But we'll make sure we do not impose, whether somebody is contesting for chairman, councillor, or House of Assembly, House of Reps, and whatever contest you're into. We want to say that you'll be free. If you're convinced after dialogue that you shouldn't go in, don't bother yourself. What God has for you will come at the appropriate time. But if you're convinced that it is you, you have to go through the process and allow the people themselves. And we have a process of doing it. In our party's constitution, if we reach a consensus, and then we can go to the Congress and affirm, whether at the world, local government, or any level at all, at the state level. But if not, we'll go and do primaries, and whosoever emerges will be taken as the person that God has brought, because the voice populi voice Dei. The voice of the people is the voice of God. So the issue of local government autonomy, I have never been against it, because I was a product of local government autonomy between 1991 and 1993. I served as a local government chairman, though it has its own challenges too. So, but I have never been against it. And one of the things that led the Nigerian Union of Local Government Employees to give me an award, led by the national president himself, with 10 other officials of the National Union. They came here in Makurdi and gave me an award, was my disposition to the issue of local government autonomy. For me, once it is accepted by all the people, we can go ahead and implement it. There will be no problem. But I can assure you that local government too has its own challenges when it comes to that, when there will be nobody to regulate it. And it is usually done in other countries. If that is the wish of the people, why should I say no to it? So I have no issue with that. And that is why in the administration of the finances of the local government, the unions are there. I'm sure if there is anything outrageous or some form of manipulation between the local government advisor to the governor and then the governor himself, they will raise it up there and they will bring it up. For me, I want that to be very, very transparent. That has been going on for some time. So till today, I have no problem with that. On the last one, from Comrade about the briefing from the local government, the advisor is here. I think if you don't know, I want to advise you that briefing is very, very important. Even we. Briefing is very, very important. You see, if time had allowed, we would have allowed even more people to ask, because this is one day that we should all be celebrating. We should be on the same page. So truly, if all these questions that have been asked here, and maybe many more that people are still having, I have tried to provide answers to them, and you understand it better. Something's better before you came here. You understand those things. So meeting is very, very important. But Bagbera people in Vanica local government will say that, literal translation, Bagbera people knows how to blacksmith because they sit together. And our people say that it can never be an insult to anybody if you ask questions. You know? So anybody who is out to ask, he wants to satisfy him or herself about those things. So when you come together, you understand yourself better than leaving things to be rumor and allow people to begin to carry rumor all over the place. So one thing that has helped me in this life is to try to be transparent and be open with people. That has helped me in the course of governance, in the course of my politicking, in the course of my business life, in the course of everything that I do. And I'm always ready, where I'm not right, I'm always ready to confess that please forgive me. And we chart a way forward. And that is what I keep saying, that everything I do, once there is superior position or argument on it, I'm ready to work with the superior position. And some of you have tried me here. There are many times that, okay, whether from the media or those working with me, I heard very strong to a position, and you came and told me that this is wrong, and this is the reason. And I subjected myself to your position. And that's a help, because I do not have monopoly of knowledge. I'm just a leader. But in leading, the input of those I'm leading must also be continued. So, as funny as his question was, it's very important, and he's not the first person. In those days that I was secretary of PDP in Benue State here, one chairman was very close to me, a village man who understood little English, but he was going on with that. He was a very strong party chairman in Gwe West. So when people went for election, he would carry his cutlass. And when he look at you at the polling unit, he will ask you, as you are here, which party are you going to vote? So you can imagine somebody having a cutlass and asking you which kind of party you want to vote. And if you make a choice of the party differently, so he will remove the cutlass. And he came one day and was complaining to me that, you know, he must tell me that this thing we are doing is not good. And I was quick to check whether he was having a cutlass. But that day, he was not having one. But he told me that, look, we should be calling meeting. Meeting is very important. That if you don't call meeting, how can there be briefing? You know, so if you call meeting, you'll be using one stone to kill two birds. One, you'll be able to give information out, and the people you have called them to at least they will be fully briefed. It will be good. So, I advise her, go back to status quo and be calling meeting and be briefing too.
Staff will be relocated to that site. But it seems this is not yet done. Can we get clarification on that?
It's time for, we are gender sensitive, so the ladies have the floor now.
Good afternoon, Your Excellency. My name is Lucy Antaga. I report for Benue Television. Your Excellency, flooding has become a perennial occurrence in Benue State. It happens almost on a yearly basis. Time and again, you've called on the federal government to intervene and assist with the dredging of the River Benue. You've made this call several times, but nothing has been done. The river, if dredged, will not just reduce the rate of flood in the state. It will also contribute to the economic development of the state. Don't you think this call is important and there is need to make it over and over again? Thank you.
Your Excellency, the last question will be taken by the number one journalist of the state, the acting chairman, AEJ, Comrade Martin Skaki. And I seek your permission to give him that opportunity to ask more than one question.
Thank you. Your Excellency, my colleagues who are here. Before my personal remark, I want this question and then make a remark, personal remark. If you go to Upper Stadium, there is an indoor sport complex constructed by the past administration. For all the years, till date, when you go there, they have been turned to a rice store. We don't know what's happening since that time. How much is government owned contract that's not paying out the money to take over that facility? That's just one question. I will leave it at that. And then, Your Excellency, on behalf of Benue journalists, will set up a kind of secret committee. Some of them are even hearing for the first time. Because in the past, there was harassment, journalists beating them up and calls and the rest of it. So when you came on board, we inaugurated a secret committee to start monitoring the activities of this government as it involves journalists from the one minute. When this conference was coming up, we had to bring up the report so far. I will take up the matter with you, but when they turned that report 2 days back, we discovered there's no record where journalists are harassed and beaten by your administration. So it is one report that will come out. It's ongoing. The next 2 years, we will monitor you on the last day of the thing. Your Excellency, there are cases where some small talks, some people, they think maybe journalists are going to state that over. Why they not writing posts negative about government? And we say the key is it's a very simple one. When you came on board, you said we should do you one favor. We should balance up the both. You are president, your deputy governor, your information commissioner, or CPS. So these people are writing. When you send a text message, they reply. So there's no cause to also go and write what is on the negative side. Once you balance out, so this is the key. So I want the public to know that answering questions is very key. Sometimes your office is calling you, send this report. When you call this one says we'll send it. Then we'll put you on the fence. But the president so far to what's on ground. And that's why those appears were not from the business side. Besides that, we are also stakeholders on the project. So we must do what is right at the right time. So we want to commend your government for that. And then number three, I want to talk about your relationship with the media in the States. We recall when we came on board, you gave us the NUJ, you gave us a bus. You had given a bus, 2 buses to Correspondent Chapel. Just about 3 months back, the special advisor gave us a bus. And that's how we monitor activities in the States. It's commendable. So you got that point, and I want to give it to you. Finally, you recall that I was part of the David Kuma administration. Chairman, when he came 2 months died, I voted for it. And then a week, he came in. About 17 months, she died. So I'm going to complete that kind of. So on the day of July, I'm holding the election on the day of July. On that day, we will inaugurate UNESCO. And so just to where before the secretary drew your attention that we are one and you have been giving assistance to us, barriers, going to convention and rest so we have to appreciate you on behalf of my brother Jonas and what has done also for our relationship to the media. So we appreciate your government. When you will write, we're not afraid. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much. This is about this Jando's contract in that sports stadium. So what is the? Then I said they should verify that.
So finally, before you leave, our secretary is very much. Please, I beg you, name of God, make sure you are well before you leave. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. This Democracy Day interaction, I must confess that is very, very educating and it's very rich. And I believe that arising from here, my government, the Benue people, will also benefit from this, our interaction. So I want to thank you very much. On Bila, you spoke about BIRS headquarters in Makudi, which we initiated to turn the former headquarters of Lobby Bank that was under construction to the headquarters of our IGR, and we're quite committed to it. Contract was given, awarded, money was also made available last year. But unfortunately, issues of inflation came in. I think when we gave that contract, dollar was still hovering around 300 and something naira. Today, I understand it's over 500 naira. And cement, I think cement was below 2,000 naira. Today, it's over, as at the last count, I was told it was 4,000. And so issues of variation came in, and that has been the problem. That notwithstanding, this was discussed during the last meeting, and I think that any funding window that is available, the variation has been done and approved, so any funding window, we're going to complete that office. It's the same thing with my office. Like I said in my remarks, issues of variation came in. And so I've not been able to occupy that, but also council was very worried about me still operating from the banquet hall and operating from the small place in my house. So these two key projects are projects that we think will save the government image. So thank you for reminding us. We're already taking some proactive steps on the matter. On dredging, you see that the issue of dredging of this river is very important to us here in Benue State, especially those of us living in Makurdi and along the riverine areas like Agatu and so on, where occasionally we experience flooding. Honestly, if we have that river dredge, all the flooding that we witness here in Makurdi will not be there, because the water will be evacuated from the town into the river. So it's a major cause of concern. The federal government in the past even awarded contract, but I think it was awarded to a wrong person. And now, cancelling that and then re-awarding it to somebody else. When the vice president came here about 3 years ago, he reaffirmed the desire of the federal government to award that contract, because it is actually beyond the state government to handle. This is a federal government project, and our National Assembly member is here, is directly affected because he's representing Makurdi and Guma. And these two local governments are local governments that are prone to flooding each time there is heavy rain here. So I believe that we'll continue to push. Last year we were able to do it, and I think this year, once they start the budgeting process, we'll push on them to ensure they provide for budget. I know it will require huge sums of money, but they can start from somewhere. And once there is an allocation, even if it is 200 to 500 million, because it's a contract that will attract billions, at least we know that we have started, and every year it will continue. So I'm happy that the honorable member is here. We'll take it up, and I will also remember to do a follow-up. On Apereku Sports Council coming from AUJ, that thing has been on for a long time, but reminding me today again will help me to dig more. And the Commissioner for Sports, Youth and Sports, I hope you're here. So please, make sure you find out what this position is. I had wanted, the contractor said he completed that job, they were still owing him, but the document to prove this are yet to come before me, and maybe the State Executive Council. You can sit down. So try to get the file, get all details concerning the sports complex, so that the needful will be done. And even if government had not paid, it is not the right of the contractor to turn it into a rice store. I think it is not correct. So you try and get those things, and you let us know. Thank you, Chairman, for acknowledging, and of course all our colleagues are here to appreciate. When I came in, I told you that I'm one of you. This is your own government, and I will keep to my side. Even when there are injurious things against me, written by some of our members, I try to encourage dialogue and try to explain. But most importantly, for the fact that you have been giving us the privilege to also explain our side, because you cannot stop people from criticizing a government. I do criticize federal government too, but let it be constructive. It shouldn't be destructive. If it is constructive, that your criticism will seek to sink a message to me or to my government. And that is what I want. At all times, I have taken an oath before the people and God himself. So even if I shortchange you, I cannot shortchange God. So I'm very conscious of this, and I want all of you at all times, if there are suggestions that can make things better, that can add value to our development, please bring it on board. I'm ready to work with you. And if I have explanation why I cannot do, like I've been explaining on some challenges I've been having here, then we can explain to you to understand. But you too, you have been doing very well. You have kept our covenant, our agreement, by asking us. That is all that we need. When you put the position of anybody, whether from the opposition or whatever, but still seek clarification, give us the opportunity to explain why it happened or whether it is a lie. If you put it like that, there is no problem. But when you allow opposing views alone to go out, it makes it not well. But so far, even instances where we have such challenges, we've been able to try to resolve and advise through leadership of various groups that are here. And I think I must commend that we are doing well. So at all times, please, we are quite open, because I have no reason to hide anything before Benue people and before all of you. If you ask me whatever thing, ask, I'm ready to give you answers to this. Yeah, people will always want problems. You know, some people thrive because there are problems amongst people. But if we are fair to ourselves, that problem will not be identified until those people too will repent to join us, so that there will be no crisis, there will be no problem. Development can come better and more where there is peace and understanding amongst the people. For the journalists, I regard them as people who are there to support, to make things work. And of course, as it is said, you're the fourth in the extent of rain, you're the fourth. And so you interact with the people. Your concern as a journalist too should be to add value. So as you're interacting with the people, you're a bridge. Some of these people, we cannot have access to them again. Even me, where I am, I'm in prison, because the favorite things I used to do, I cannot do them. Now with Fulani people tagging me and planning to eliminate me too, I don't want to tempt God. So you see, my level of interaction with the people have been constrained. I do not reach out to people the way just bounce into somebody's house, go out. In fact, at a point in 2015 when I became governor, I used to go out alone until I was cautioned by security agencies that that should never happen. And I've seen it. Because in this life, whatever you're doing, you have people who hate you. Like what the Fulanis are saying now. I don't hate them. I made a law, I provided for them, I provided for the farmers. But they're turning it around, trying to change the narrative because of the hidden agenda they have. So if they have their way, they will eliminate me. So, you see, I'm in prison. I cannot go to those places that I may want to go. But you're there. and you always reach out, you sit out with people, you interact with them, you go to your villages, and of course you are here in town. So when you're here, it is your duty to also give me a feedback so that we can really explain things that are going on. Like some people drew my attention that people were accusing me that I've stolen all the money in government and I'm building mansions and buying property, that my companies are blooming while the state is dying and all that. I said, you can't bring that on me. Go back to history. Where was I before I became governor? I was from the organized private sector. Yes, as governor, there are certain things that I'm privileged, but I have insisted that it has to be lawful. But if you know that I've taken money from anywhere, bring it out. Several people went blindly and accused me. Small time, when I report them to police, I will say, okay, let us go to court. They will come back begging. That is the challenge. But that's the challenge of a leader. So when people are ignorant, but go back. Did I not declare my assets? Was I not a businessman? I was into estate business, and I have a couple of property here in Abuja that I bought and sold, and we have continued to do that. I have a registered company that is providing jobs for people even before I became governor. One of the things that added to people voting for me was that I was a businessman and I provided enterprises that are giving jobs to people here in Benue State before I became governor. So when people talk out of ignorance, and if they seek clarification, we can explain to them. Some of them who are propelling that one because of political differences, they bought properties from me and they are here in Makurdi, I can show you, or in Abuja. I am not a director in Oracle Business Limited since I became minister, but that is a business that I established. So there is no way you can deassociate me from it. I don't, for moral reasons, I don't even want Oracle Business to do business with the state government directly. Even where we have the exclusive right for Oracle Business, we still pass through a second party. This is to avoid some of those things, and that is why EFCC are there, ICPC are there. They have checked here several times. They have invited people in government. They have invited the managing director of the company I established and all that. And you can't find anything that is incriminating. So all those things, if you don't tell me, I may not know. When I was, the company on Boko Road by a Chinese man, up to today I have not met with the man. It's his management that came. It was said that I was the one building that company. And I went there for the first time when somebody drew my attention from amongst you that this is what is going on in town. I didn't know. And I didn't know that any development was going on in that place. Those people came with their money, and within 3 weeks, they were able to put structures there. I went there for the first time, and I saw it. But of course, it's one of the things that I have said there. Many people have questioned why I kept going to China, going this, and nothing is happening here. They should go to Boko Road now, and they will see that something is happening there. Go to Zakibian. Those people are doing starch and ethanol plant. The man came here, bandits went and killed one Chinese man there, shot one, and kidnapped two. After 2 months, 8 weeks, you take a Chinese national, kidnap and keep in the bush without water and without adequate food. It was just last week that they were released. You know, but Chinese, their level of resilience is next to none. When it comes to doing something that they will get money. The man came here. I say, are you still going back there? Even the one that was shot, we took him here, we treated him, And as soon as he was better, he said he wants to go back. And he left without security. So his boss came 2 days ago and met me and said, look, those two people, they came out of this and they wanted to go to work, but they were weak. Mosquitoes had bitten them, they were feverish, and they have not had enough water, so the doctors admitted them in Zakidam. But as soon as they revived, they are going back. Then I said that, okay, before you go back, you must get to the Commissioner of Police to adequately provide. Because these are things that can improve on the economy. Have you not heard our president say that there are no more jobs? He's not the first person saying it. I have told you before. In Benue State today, we have jobs at the local government, at the state, teachers and all that. But the challenge is, where do you get money to pay? Where you employ. So the only thing that can help is the private sector. So if you have this thing going on in Makudi here, you have it going on in Kasala, you have it going on in Zakidam, you have it going on in Dosa layout. More people are coming. Many have done their diligence. Some came here, the chairman brought the other one that they are doing a very major plant in Obagaji now. You know? So it is not something that can happen within a day. So it is well appreciated, this relationship that we have. Please don't be afraid. My chief press secretary is there, my deputy governor is there, and all government appointees. Commissioner for Information, you can always reach out. When you cannot reach out to me, reach out to them, they will get to me. We look forward that our relationship will continue. On the secretariat, I have heard the Ministry of Housing and Ministry of Information should also check. That structure was constructed by my predecessor. Can't remember the exact person, but it was constructed by government. Truly, the level of dilapidation is very, very high. As I said before, it is not easy, but no matter how it is, we must eat and drink. So something should be done to that secretariat. And Chairman, the AUJ in Benue State for the past few years have had the sad incident of their chairman dying. One died, was here, a part of it, the second one died, but you will not die in Jesus' name. So even if your colleagues decide to make you the chairman, don't be afraid to take up that responsibility, you will not die. Thank you very much and God bless you.
Thank you, Your Excellency, for this detailed presentation, clarification of issues. We are in the segment of good university now, Your Excellency has permitted. So 2 minutes to these persons and we have prepared. And I begin with the labor leaders, our dear comrades, Governor INC, Chairman, NLC, Benue State.
Thank you, Your Excellency, the Governor and members of the State Executive Council, the President, distinguished delegates. Your Excellency, let me commend you for your documents. I want to say that very soon Nigerians will celebrate you as we are celebrating Abdullah today. And for you, they will celebrate you alive while you are alive. They will celebrate you because of what you are doing.
So you not
yes, on behalf of the workers of the State, I want to also congratulate you for trying so much on the issue of workers' welfare, particularly in the payment of the tax. We know time of 10 months, 9 months, 5 months, and still understand.
No, we're not finished yet.
Even though
I do it on Monday.
they are quiet, they are happy.
Okay, on Tuesday I'm going to listen, sir. I'm going to Akwa Ibom. Okay, sir. Until I come back. Okay.
Presidency is not easy not to be paid for 10 months and you jump and get regular salary because the handover is there. And so we are praying for you to at least get a way to pay these areas of salary. If you are trying to be paying at least 1 month, you pay with drop one. I think you will be reducing the time, and people will be filling the gap that have existed in the course of these areas. So we are seriously praying for you, and we also wish that you try as much as possible to change this story. You ask for funds, they refuse to give you because you are doing the correct thing. So you can look for other means. We are also looking at your tenure as the block fix. So we are afraid that are you leaving us in this area of salary who is going to pay? We are so much afraid of that. So may God help you to get this money and say to us, we'll be very grateful to you. We'll continue to pray for you. God will continue to be by your side as you continue to tell Nigerians the truth and the way to go. Thank you very much, and may God bless you.
Your Excellency, would adjust the program quickly to allow Honorable Benjamin who would have spoken much later, but because he has another thing to attend to now, he said he must give you this good message for the wonderful presentation you have made. So, Honorable Representative
Good afternoon, Your Excellency, Executive Governor, your Deputy, my party chairman, our leaders here, men and women of the 10th profession. Good afternoon. Your Excellency, on behalf of the National Assembly, you have made our job easier. Your stand on national issue has given us the legislative agenda upon which to forge. We do not need to refer to you most often times on your position on national issues, most especially when you come up. Your raised, which you also commented on the issue of the dredging of the river Benue. It has been my own legislative agenda. I've drafted documents and very soon I'll begin to read them out. I have a motion on ground that is any moment from now will be taken on the floor because that contract was awarded by this very government, but along the line they have not been able to fund the contractor to mobilize to site and begin to dredge. And until we dredge the river, apart from the issues of flooding, apart from the issues of dry season farming, transportation, for navigation, the river itself has lost its beauty. When you cross the river Benue now, you wonder whether this is Benue or it's a stream. And these are issues that are issues of concern. But I want to let you know that from the National Assembly perspective, we will continue to support you, stand by your policies to move government forward and to advance the people of Benue State. Thank you so much. Congratulations on your second year, your second term. God will move you higher and higher in Jesus' name.
Amen. Amen. Thank you, Honorable Benjamin Sambu. Your Excellency, God bless is the camp chair of the State Reverend Akademi for this good message on behalf of the church in Benue State.
Your Excellency, the Executive Governor of Benue State, the Deputy Governor, the High Table, all protocols observed. The Bible says in Proverbs chapter 10 verse 1 that a wise son is a pride to his father, but a foolish son is a disappointment to his mother. Your Excellency, your father, the church in Benue, is proud of you. You have made us proud. Since you came on board as the governor of Benue State, you have been consistently consistent in professing that you are born again. You stand for truth, you stand for justice, you stand for equity. We are proud of you because you have been saying it and you have been doing it. You have faith in God. If not because of your faith, the threat to your life, the pressures here in the state and at the federal level would have made you to bow low, but you have remained consistent with what you say. We are proud of you, as I have said. On behalf of the church in Benue State, we appreciate your work in Benue State. It's part of the donor financial resources. You have been able to do so much as you have presented it today. And we also appreciate you for answering all the questions intelligently that have been presented to you by the members of the pen profession. As we celebrate this year's Democracy Day, we are prayerful and we are saying that we will remain solidly behind you. We will support you in prayers. We will support you in whichever way we can afford. We will offer good advices to you. When you are going wrong, we will not hide it from you. We will advise you to be on track. With the 2 years remaining, we are praying to you that may God give you long life and prosperity. May God provide the resources so that some of the things that are lacking, you'll be able to do them so that Benue will still be proud of you. And as the chairman of NUJ said about the secretariat of NUJ, as a church, we are praying for you. We are hoping that within the 2 years that are remaining, you will build a befitting secretariat for the church in the name of Jesus. Happy Democracy Day. Congratulations. And may God bless you in the mighty name of Jesus.
will come from the state chairman of our party, the PDP. But it's very difficult because he will speak not just for PDP, but for the political class in Benue State, the good university.
PDP! PDP! Your Excellency, the Governor of Benue State, Your Excellency, the Deputy Governor, members of the State Working Committee of PDP that are here, members of the State Executive Council and Security Council that are here, our friends, the gentlemen of the press, Your Excellency, I greet all of you. Your Excellency, today is a day worth celebrating. Why do I say this? I say this because you have stand for the people of Benue State. And if not for your stand, by now, Benue State can become a grave ground for where people have been buried. And each time it happens, it's true for us. And that is why you have become a voice in Nigeria today. Most places that you go to in this country, I know people will be struggling to catch a glimpse of you. see, sometimes in governance, you cannot compare what is happening in Benue with what is happening in Rivers, because the allocations are different. And so within the limit of what you have been able to achieve this much. The party, the PDP say we are proud of it. It's not building a gigantic project that matters. But if you go to most of the remote areas of the state, many of our primary schools are being given a facelift. And I want to encourage the Commissioner for Information to please take the journalists on the door of the state so that we can showcase what His Excellency the Governor has done for the people of the state. It's very, very important. I think Labarama did it during Jonathan's time. And he brought us so many things that was done by Jonathan. And so I want to encourage the Commissioner for Information to please do that so that the people of the state can know what is happening in the areas of education. The remotest part of any village you go today, those that were learning on that place today are in a very beautiful classroom with a customized chair to sit. The type that we never sat when we were in primary school. Having said that, Your Excellency, I want to say that the party will solidly stand behind you. You go to River, we will follow you there. Wherever you go, we will go with you. We will never turn our back against you. Because, you know, in the last high school of 2014, His Excellency being a good politician, you know, he divided the high school where he was leaving PDP. The high school was divided. He took somewhere within, but they worked against the party. But what I assure you this time, Your Excellency, that we will remain together and we will remain behind you to give the party a fair and transparent primaries. And to the nation and to President Buhari, even if you cannot do anything, please give us an electoral act that can provide a good election, a transparent election for the people of this country. If you do that alone, and you don't even tar the road from here to Tubo, I think Nigerians will be happy with you, and the international community too will be happy with you. So, Excellency, for being the voice of the voiceless, voice of Nigeria today, because anywhere you go in this country today, it's you. If it's not you, it is wicked. You are not the only PDP governors. Even the APC governors are also admiring people, even though they cannot talk, they admire what you are doing. And so our prayers are with you. We ask that the God that has brought you to that seat will see you through your tenure. And we also pray for good health for you and your team. And so as we go in the second lap of our administration, all we ask from the people of this state is your support. All we ask for the people, for our friends and journalists, is your own support as well. This day, we say congratulations Nigeria, congratulations Benue State, congratulations PDP. Power to the people, PDP.
Let me inform you that all that the government said here, you can find, especially those aspects that have to do with finance, you can find them on private information on revenue and expenditure of the state on benueplanning.be.gov.ng, benueplanning.be.gov.ng. There you find annual audited accounts and quarterly budget reports which contain revenue, expenditure, and details, and all other details. It is really unprecedented levels of, these are unprecedented level of transparency. This government is digital, you can agree with me. So on that note, Your Excellency, this is the time for you to round up the session in the press conference.
Thank you very much. I want to appreciate this press conference. It has turned out to be more than press conference, and I deeply appreciate this. Let me respond before I round up to NSE. Once again, I commend and appreciate the Benue workers. You have really shown that you're partners with me and my administration. And one good turn deserves another. I want to assure you that you will not be disappointed. I've always said that the Bible says better is the end of a thing than the beginning. I'm trusting God. And just like our people also say that when the rains are coming to an end, there is thunder. I want to believe that God will help me. Trust no man, I don't trust myself, but I trust God, who is the maker of heaven and earth, and who is the owner of gold, silver, and bronze. God is the owner of resources. I believe that before I leave office, God in His infinite mercy will help me. While I work hard with your active support, the way you have demonstrated in the past 6 years, I believe that we'll be able to surmount this matter. Like I said, it is my intention to clear all arrears, not waiting for anyone. It's true, I inherited arrears, but God will help me to make a difference. And one of the things I have initiated in this administration is the issue of domesticating PENCON law. Today, we are one of the few states that have domesticated PENCON law. Those who did before already enjoying this. And there is a window with PENCON. Once we're able to reach a certain threshold, I've told you we have already with PENCON as of today, the contribution of workers and the contribution of government. We are kept with PENCON and it is ongoing. And once we're able to reach a threshold of 3 billion naira, we'll be entitled to ask for loan from PENCON, which is estimated to be about over 13 trillion naira. And then because we'll be contributing and we'll be paying, we'll be able to clear these arrears. Apart from that, we're looking for other windows too. You appreciate that the borrowing limit of the state was restrained by the reduction of the borrowing threshold from 40% to 20%. And Benue were already on 21%. So the idea we had to borrow money and make up this have not been possible, but we're still fighting hard as the level of governors forum to ensure that the federal government reverses the borrowing threshold. Because it wasn't only Benue State that was affected. All the states with challenges were also affected. And we must also acknowledge that the federal government, as of today, is borrowing money. In fact, no government have ever borrowed in the manner that the federal government have borrowed. That is the truth. And they are aware. That is why they are able to payment of salaries, but even pension, I'm aware that they are also owing pension. But you know, they don't need the state government permission to borrow. They just go to the National Assembly, and the following week they have the approval. But we, as governors, you cannot borrow 1 naira without asking the approval of the Federal Ministry of Finance. So that is the challenge that most people may not really be at home with it or understand that this is what we are going through. But that notwithstanding, we are looking for other windows, especially this from PENCON, and we have continued. If they are able to reverse, we'll be able to realize the money that we have put in the budget, 40 billion to be borrowed to settle some of these areas and then complete some of the ongoing projects that we intend to do. And that takes me to the issue of Aliedo Bariketo road. It is ongoing. The one of Awaji to Oju is also ongoing. What we only need is to mobilize the contractors to go back to site. And it is funding challenge that we have. But as soon as we're able to get a window, we are going to do that. Because of the confidence that the Benue workers have in me, like I said, I pray that before I leave office, I should be able to clear this so that any other person coming will start on a clean slate and continue with our workers. The truth is that if you look at the way we have been able to govern in the past 6 years, we are setting very solid foundation built on solid rock. We have enacted more than 30 laws. Laws on courtesan, laws on prohibition of open grazing, laws on kidnappers, all those things we have done. Domesticating this law, attending and domesticating Physical Responsibility Act. These are no mean achievements that the whole world, and that is why the moderator is giving you details about our income and expenditure and all that. These are transparent issues that many people will not want if done. EFCC have been here several times, CPC have been here, and my workers are all here. I've told them, my appointees, I've told them the efforts we are doing and how they need to work with it. If anybody goes after that and falls into the hands of EFCC or any anti-corruption agency, I've told them, don't hide any document, go there and give them. The only way to avoid not getting there is to make sure you have the correct records, do everything that is right. Don't come to me and ask me to go and bail you or to go and influence. I won't go there in the first place. So do the right thing, so that once you are invited, you go with those documents and present to them. If they do injustice to you, that I will take up that myself. EFCC did that to me some time ago, and I took them to court, and the court awarded 100 million to Benue State government because it was injustice, it was not right, it was uncalled for. So I will be proud of any of my appointees or my staff that is called by EFCC, and there is nothing incriminating against him. If they insist, after investigating and seeing that there is nothing incriminating against you, and they insist, I will take it up from there. That I will be there to protect you. But if you get yourself involved, you will have to go and defend yourself. I'm not there with you, because I have not sent you. And I'm saying it publicly, so that everyone will know. So, I'm happy that Mzandu is a very active member of the House of Representatives, and he will take this up and will liaise with our senators to ensure that we have some of these things done as they are being challenged. The truth is that myself, the House of Assembly, the National Assembly were working as a team. And we've been holding constant dialogue and consultations with each other. Even while they are in Abuja, we consult with ourselves, and we are singing one voice as far as we are concerned here in Benue State. And you have also heard from him. Federal government borrows. So nothing strange. In fact, if I have the window, I will borrow and clear all these things. After all, people say that Olu Okanjo, literal translation. Nobody will prosecute you for borrowing once you follow the right procedure. Nobody. Literal translation of what I said in thief is that you are someone because you borrow. That is the truth. And for those people in Benue State, I'm calling them, look, you have heard the presidency. No jobs. No jobs. That is the truth. Let us go into business. Let us diversify our economic base. Go to business. Farming, those who can farm should farm. Those who can do merchandise, they should do. Those who can do all trading, those who can go to industry, do it. Those who have access, go and borrow money. Nobody will jail you because you borrowed money, except you don't pay. Then they will come and take your collateral. So let us go into several things that can really add money and make things work. I believe that the opportunity we have today in restoring security, you also heard Mr. President say that governors should stop coming to him, but they should come back and take charge of their security. I disagree with him completely. Because this is a federation. Where is the army I have? Where is the police? Where is the civil defense? Where is all those ones? There is something I can do to complement what the security men are doing, just like we are recruiting community volunteer guards. But the president have a role to play. Governors have a role to play. Chairmen of local government have roles to play. Citizens have roles to play. These roles are complementary. But there is no way you can wash your hands off the security of this nation and say that governors should do it alone. We must work together. These are some of these truths. When I say it, they say I'm insulting the president, but I'm not. I'm just saying the truth to power. Because I want things to work. I have no other country other than Nigeria. When last have I traveled out of this country? I have stayed here in Benue State and within our country, Nigeria, because I love it. And I work day and night to ensure that things work here. So nobody, Mr. President cannot run away from his responsibility. He cannot shift his responsibility to me. If he's doing that, let him bring his security rules and the security apparatus and give it to me. Then I can take off from there, but now he's the commander-in-chief of the armed forces, so he must do his job, and I must do my own too. If you want to grab the job now, am I not saying the truth? My camp chairman, thank you for your spiritual guidance and prayers, and your boldness to speak to me anytime something is not done right in my government. I appreciate this partnership. And I continue to work with you. I continue to heed to your advice. I continue to heed to your counsel and prayers. It's been wonderful. You are a great man. You are a great leader. You have brought the entire church together. And the Muslim community were together. Benue State is a secular state. So we respect every religion, including pagans, because this is democracy. Even witch doctors and voodoo people, fetish people, well, we know that first is, if we want to handle them, me and chairman will always meet and pray against them. But here we accommodate them. Like I said, I'm a father to all, and I remain committed to this. Let us work together. Benue State will definitely be out of this challenge we have today. Mr. Party Chairman, I remain grateful and committed to you, your working committee members, and the teeming supporters of our great party, the PDP. I appreciate this. I appreciate all Benue people, including members of the opposition who mean well for our state. Where we are today, we need the support of everybody, because it's only when we have a working Benue State that we can talk about politics, we can talk about platforms, we can talk about contesting election in 2023, we can talk about all that. If there is no Benue State, then we have nothing to talk about. So I appreciate anytime I call, they are always here to lend their advice and counsel and admonishment. We must put party aside, we must put sentiments aside, we must put religion aside, we must put ethnicity aside and work as a common people. That is what Benue need now. That is what Nigeria need now. And so, send my words on this Democracy Day. I appreciate all of you, Those who are here, the media, it has been wonderful working with you. Like I said before, I cannot thank you enough. You have projected Benue State. You have told the story of Benue to the outside world, to the international community. They have heard you. Most people, when they are speaking to me from the international community, they say, yes, we know. We have heard this. It's because of you. Only God will bless you. And so, I appreciate Benue people. I appreciate our friends. I appreciate our opponents. I appreciate even our enemies. We appreciate them. And we pray for them that God will change their hearts. Because we mean well, and we are placed here by God. So we have no option than to execute the counsel of God over the land of Benue. And that is what we are doing. And so God admonishes us to pray for our enemies, not to seek for their death, so that they will live and see the glorious things that God will do. So we pray for them, and tomorrow they may have a change of heart to join hands with us, because we cannot do it alone, and make sure that we leave Benue greater than when we met it. Once again, I appreciate you all. God bless you.
Thank you, Your Excellency. So as we prepare to return to the studios of the radio stations and the television who have been on live here with us in the past about 2 hours, we want to thank the management of both stations, the DPM of the here as ST, as well as the GM of August FM, as Sister Christo, the Compaction, are also here with us. Thank you very much for your technical staff for doing a good job. People who have listened to His Excellency on this Democracy Day. We appreciate you, Your Excellency, once again. Thank you very much for speaking to fellow people on this very, very important occasion. Thank you, sir. National Anthem.
Oh,